Imagine a world where the horizon is a myth. A world where you are born, you learn, you work, you fall in love, and eventually you die without ever feeling natural rain on your skin. Welcome to the year 2300. The surface of the Earth is no longer habitable. Maybe it was the climate, maybe it was war. It doesn't matter anymore. What matters is that humanity has retreated. We didn't leave the planet. We just packed ourselves away. This is the Arcology. It is the ultimate engineering challenge, a closed loop, a perfect circle. But there's a catch. In a system this tight, a single error doesn't just mean a power outage, it means extinction. Today, on Voyager 2300, we are stepping inside the beast to answer one question. How do you keep 50 million people alive when you can't open a window? To understand the Arcology, you have to forget everything you know about architecture. In the 21st century, we build towers to stroke our egos. In the 24th century, we build them to survive. But you cannot just build a concrete tower 3 kilometers high. It would crush itself under its own weight. The base would turn to dust. The Arcology relies on carbon nanotube meshes and graphene composites. It is not solid, it is hollow like a bird's bone. It is an open lattice that lets light and air flow through the center. Think of it as a vertical organism. The outer shell, that's the skin, covered in transparent solar collectors. The support beams, the skeleton. But the real magic is the blood. Imagine the logistics. 50 million people. That means 50 million breakfasts, 50 million showers, and 50 million flushes of the toilet every single morning. If you used 21st century trucks and roads to move those supplies, the traffic jam would last for 100 years. In the Arcology, nothing moves on wheels. The entire structure is threaded with a pneumatic vacuum network, a physical internet. You order a meal and it shoots through the walls at 400 miles per hour, arriving in your kitchen slot in seconds. The building doesn't just house you, it feeds you. But where does the food come from? There are no fields outside. There are no cows grazing in the sunlight. The Arcology is strictly vegetarian, but not by choice. Raising livestock is thermodynamically inefficient. A cow takes up space, drinks water, and produces methane. In a closed system, a cow is a biological weapon. Instead, 20% of the entire megastructure is dedicated to vertical farming, aeroponic towers where genetically modified rice and soy grow in mist 24 hours a day under artificial suns. And for protein, you're not going to like this. That's of cultured meat grown from cells in a lab and insect farms. Crickets and mealworms are the most efficient protein converters in the universe. In 2300, cricket flour isn't a novelty, it's the base of every loaf of bread. But the biggest problem isn't food, it's water. Humans are leaky. We sweat, we exhale moisture, and we excrete waste. In the 21st century, we flushed our waste into the ocean. In the Arcology, there is no away, there is only here. Every drop of water you drink today was in someone else's bladder yesterday. The Arcology captures every flush, every drop of sweat from the gym, and every bit of humidity from your breath. It passes through graphene filters and UV radiation until it is chemically pure H2O. It is cleaner than any mountain spring water from history. But psychologically, that is a pill that 50 million people have to swallow every day. Now, here's the twist. The thing that will kill the Arcology isn't starvation, it isn't thirst, and it isn't structural collapse. The killer is heat. A human body radiates about 100 watts of heat. Put 50 million people in a box, add millions of computers, lights, and cooking elements, and you have created a furnace. Without cooling, the internal temperature of the Arcology would rise to lethal levels in less than 6 hours. The structure would literally cook its inhabitants alive.
This is why the Arcology is shaped like a chimney. It utilizes the stack effect. Hot air rises. The center of the megastructure is a massive hollow void, a hurricane tunnel 3 kilometers high. Giant vents at the bottom suck in cool air from the frozen earth outside. As the air heats up, it shoots upward, venting out the top into the stratosphere. The building breathes. If those vents ever jammed, if the airflow stopped, it wouldn't take days, it would take hours for the panic to set in. So we've solved the engineering. We have food, water, and air. But what happens to the human mind when you put 50 million egos in a cage? Space is the ultimate luxury. In the lower levels, the roots, population density is extreme. You live in a capsule, 20 square meters. You interact in virtual reality because physical reality is too crowded. But as you go up, the air gets cleaner, the ceilings get higher. At the apex, the crown, the elite live with actual gardens. They're the only ones who can see the sun without looking through 50 layers of glass. The Arcology creates a literal class system. The rich are physically above the poor. Sociologists predict that over time, the dialects would drift. The people in the roots might speak a completely different language than the people in the crown within 3 generations. They're one nation separated by an elevator ride. The Arcology is a marvel of logistics. It is the most efficient machine ever designed. But it forces us to ask, is this the salvation of humanity? Or is it just a high-tech prison cell with a very good recycling system? If you had to choose, would you live in the crowded neon roots with the masses or the lonely, silent crown at the top? Let me know in the comments below. This is Voyager 2300. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the future.